They are symbols that most people recognize today. The International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement embodies an international humanitarian mission that relies on about 97 million volunteers worldwide. The ideals are universal: to protect human life and health, to ensure respect for the human being, and to prevent and alleviate human suffering without any discrimination based on nationality, race, gender, religious beliefs, class, or political opinions. National Red Cross and Red Crescent societies exist in nearly every country in the world. In many countries, they are tightly linked to the respective national healthcare system by providing emergency medical services. Each nation has embraced the Red Cross or Red Crescent at different times and for different reasons. But in the Southeast Asian nation of Thailand, the story and the society are unique. By early 1979, Thailand's neighbor, Cambodia, had suffered through 4 years of war and genocide at the hands of the Khmer Rouge and its leader, Pol Pot. When it came to power in 1975, the Khmer Rouge imposed what became known as the Killing Fields, in which brutality was carried out by the insurgents and their supporters against the Cambodian population. Their purpose was a communist-style restructuring of Cambodian society. But in the process, through starvation, disease and murder, they killed between 1 and 3 million Cambodians, or around an eighth of the total population. Thousands of Cambodians, many of them upper and merchant classes, moved westwards towards the Thai border. In 1979, an invasion of foreign-backed troops resulted in civil war and a battle over leadership in Cambodia. Starving, desolate and terrified of attack, thousands of Khmer refugees fled into Thailand's Trat province. At the age of 15, Ronnie Yimsut joined the exodus.
I was 13 when the Khmer Rouge came to power. By the time 16, I lost everything. Completely everything except my life. So I ran for my life from that on, before I was turned 16.
20 years later, he retraced his steps to the fields where his parents and hundreds of others had been gunned down.
How could you forget something like this? How could you forget? As long as I'm still here, how could I forget? Can't forget.
Refugees from Cambodia had been pushed back from Thailand time and time again. The Khmer Rouge was usually waiting. By 1979, the flood of homeless and starving victims had swelled to 40,000 people. Most had walked into Thailand to an area known as Khao Lan in the nation's Trat province. Many simply lay down to die. Thailand's then Prime Minister, General Griansak Chomanan, was concerned with the nation's security and ordered the refugees back across the border. Dr. Suwit Yodmani was part of that administration and remembers those days well. The Thai nation's beloved Queen Sirikit holds many titles. One of those is President of the Thai Red Cross Society, which is by far the largest humanitarian organization in the country. After hearing details of the crisis, the Thai Red Cross pleaded for a solution.
Her Majesty, having received the report from Professor Dr. Kaset Sanitwong, who was the president of the Red Cross, the Secretary General of Red Cross at the time. Her Majesty was the president. Having received this from the Secretary General, she reacted very strongly and expressed tremendous grave concern for the humanitarian cause. Prime Minister Griansak at the time was in charge of the Thai government, and a great strategist, by the way, he realized that this was a risk that had to be taken. So before opening the border, he actually relocated some of the villagers away from the border area into a safer area and decided to set up the camps for refugees with the help of the UNHCR. So this was done, and then I think it was in late October 1979 he went to inspect the border areas and publicly declared the border open.
It was an action applauded throughout the world.
Her Majesty the Queen herself, as President of the Thai Red Cross, personally intervene this matter and they try and find and shelter for these people under the emblem of Red Cross, and she has taken care of these refugees for about over 5 years before they were transferred to the proper refugee camp, and this showed her compassion to those pitiful people, and it is purely her own initiative.
The Queen then flew to the camps to see the situation firsthand. What greeted her were scenes that shocked her deeply: hunger, illness, and exhaustion. She battled the heat and the stench and walked through a sea of human ruin. Under Her Majesty's direction, the Khao Lan Thai Red Cross Centre was established to oversee the border camps. These provided shelter, food and medical care to scores of desperate refugees who were mostly peasant families with small children. Walking alongside his mother amid the desolation was Queen Sirigat's son, Thailand's Crown Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn, who was at that time a young military officer. He stepped in to organize security for the border camps. Her Majesty's second daughter, Princess Maha Jakri Sirindhorn, was also on hand. The Princess is the Executive Vice President of the Thai Red Cross and a champion of children's rights. The Princess ordered schools to be opened in the camps, where the children were taught self-help and life skills to prepare them for the future. Once the borders were open, Thailand faced a continuous stream of refugees and a massive challenge for the Thai Red Cross. As a result, other camps in Thailand were established to house the growing numbers. The most famous, Khao Idang, was a huge compound of bamboo and thatched houses located near Aranyapratet in the Sakao province of Thailand. The crisis represented the first major challenge for the then newly formed UN High Commission for Refugees, and the lessons learnt in Thailand became the framework for the agency's work around the world today.
The Cambodia refugee crisis in 1979 really was a huge turning point in the history of UNHCR. It was the first real emergency that we ever were active in anywhere in the world. So UNHCR had to set up camps all along the border with Cambodia to take care of the hundreds of thousands of refugees who came into the country.
On the first day of Khao Idang's operation, almost 5,000 people had arrived, and within a month there were almost 85,000 people in the camp. The border areas were still a battle zone, and the Thai Red Cross doctors and nurses often had to crawl through trenches to reach those in need. By 1980, the camp's population had reached 160,000 people. By 1986, the border camps at Khao Lan had finally closed. The last Cambodian refugee camp in Thailand didn't close until 1999, when the final few residents were repatriated back home or onwards to other countries. The generosity of Thailand's Red Cross President, Queen Sirikit, had allowed sanctuary to around 350,000 of her neighbours over a span of 20 years. Today, the Royal Compassion Museum stands on the site of Khao Lan's former campsite to ensure no one forgets. Ronnie Yimsut is one of 150,000 Cambodian refugees settled in the United States. He too will never forget. Victims of conflicts in neighbouring countries still make their way to Thailand in the hope of a better life. The Thai Red Cross is often entrusted with their care. Thailand's Red Cross is one of the oldest Red Cross societies in the Asian region. By 1920, it was known as the Siamese Red Cross Society, and its new president was Queen Sawapa Pongsi. A year later, the society became a member of the International Federation of the Red Cross. Over the years, Thailand's Red Cross became the driving force behind much of the country's advancement in medical research and care. The Thai Red Cross is especially unique because it is the only such society in the world that operates its own hospitals. This began with the opening of the Queen Sawang Wadana Memorial Hospital in 1902 in Sriracha, southeast of Bangkok. Just over a decade later, Thailand's Red Cross Society opened the King Chulalongkorn Memorial Hospital in 1914. A state-of-the-art facility, it's also a teaching hospital for the Faculty of Medicine of Chulalongkorn University. It's a major centre for organ transplant, and in 1987 was home to the nation's first heart transplant. That same year, Thailand's first test tube baby was born at the hospital. One of the hospital's key roles is the fight against breast cancer. With Her Majesty's support, the Queen Sirikit Centre for Breast Cancer was opened in 2005 to commemorate her 72nd birthday. Today, the scope of the Thai Red Cross is wide and its activities varied. Adding to the uniqueness of Thailand's Red Cross is the fact that from its inception until today, it has always been closely associated with the country's royal family. Queen Sirikit has constantly taken an active role in the well-being of those less fortunate. Subsequent generations of Thailand's royal family have continued the humanitarian endeavours and still do so today. Much like her royal parents, Princess Sirindhorn's vision has extended well beyond Thailand's borders. Her concern is deeply personal, and much of the budget used for implementing her programs comes from her own private funds. In 1981, the Princess established the Thai Red Cross Children's Home to care for orphaned and abandoned children. The centre has taken a leading role in protecting children's rights and assisting adoptions. Throughout the years, hundreds of needy children have found new families. The royal family's work with the Thai Red Cross is constant, and with their support, the society has flourished. Today it has 13 bureaux, 6 specialised centres and 2 special affairs offices. It employs around 8,500 people. It also has over 380,000 members and more than 24,000 volunteers. Snakebite is a major problem in Asia's jungles, and Thailand has been at the forefront in the development of anti-venoms and serums that are used throughout the Asian region. Since 1913, most of this research and success has taken place at the Queen Sawapa Memorial Institute in the heart of Thailand's Red Cross facility in Bangkok. The snake farm here was established in 1923 and was the second of its kind in the world after Brazil, and the only such facility operated by a Red Cross society. It's supported by a Red Cross-owned horse farm for vaccine testing. The Thai team has also led the way in rabies vaccination, and the development of the BCG serum to prevent tuberculosis. The National Blood Centre, operated by the Thai Red Cross, is well supported throughout the community, and year-round blood drives promote donations in schools, temples, universities and other public places. For those who donate more than 30 times, and many do, each is presented with a special royal badge or pin, much coveted by the public. Disaster preparedness is essential for any Red Cross team. The Thai Red Cross Society's Disaster Operations Centre is in readiness 24 hours a day, and its Nightingale communication network keeps in touch with personnel throughout the country. The Thai Red Cross continues to help its neighbours. This is Thailand's Hearing, Rehabilitation and Ear Surgery Mobile Unit. 20 doctors, several Red Cross nurses and technicians are crossing the Mekong River and venturing into the Lao People's Democratic Republic. Villagers have made their way to the mobile unit for free treatment. After assisting more than 50 people, the unit continues on its journey through Laos. Its next stop over the border to Vietnam. This is the town of Mahachai in Samut Sakhon, a few hours from Bangkok. A Red Cross dental unit has arrived to treat workers from the area. Many of those lining up for treatment are labourers from Myanmar who have little hope of similar assistance back home. Thailand's Red Cross has gone to Myanmar's aid before. Cyclone Nargis caused the worst natural disaster in the recorded history of Myanmar. The cyclone made landfall in the country on the 2nd of May 2008, causing catastrophic destruction and at least 146,000 fatalities. Damage was estimated at over $10 billion.
တိုက်လာပြီးတော့6နာရီခွဲလောက်ကြာတော့လေကတော်တော်ပြင်းလာတယ်ဗျအဲ့ဒီအချိန်မှာတိုက်တဲ့ဟာကလေကအရှိဘက်ကတိုက်တယ်ဗျကျွန်တော်တို့အိမ်ကလေဟိုအရှိဘက်ကိုမျက်နှာမှုထားတဲ့အိမ်ကိုလေကအရှိဘက်ကရင်တိုက်တယ်တိုက်တာဘယ်လောက်တော့ထိတိုက်တယ်ဆိုတော့အဲ့မှာလေကတော်တော်ပြင်းထန်လာပြီ
Princess Sirindhorn and Thailand's Red Cross immediately sent supplies. This included 30 tons of medicine, generators for emergency operating rooms, anti-venoms for snakebite, and 12 tons of food, plus a team of 20 doctors and nurses. In the process of recovery, Thailand's Red Cross built a small hospital and a health station along with a blood bank in Myanmar's former capital, Yangon. The Thai Red Cross Relief and Community Health Bureau is one of the Society's core areas of operation. Working in association with the Regional Disaster Rescue Team, the Red Crescent Society and other key ASEAN organizations, it has provided relief assistance throughout Asia and beyond. In Pakistan, for example, when a massive earthquake killed around 80,000 people in October 2005, the Thai Red Cross quickly responded, utilizing the nation's international carrier Thai Airways to transport 5 tons of relief goods to Islamabad. Thailand's Crown Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn also donated his own private funds to assist the relief efforts. In May 2008, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck China's southwestern province of Sichuan, claiming over 15,000 lives and leaving many villages and towns in debris. The Thai Red Cross donated funds to its Chinese counterpart, along with 250 tents and cooking utensils. Princess Sirindhorn also donated her own funds to build a new school. Whether it's a result of nature's fury or human conflict. The time for assistance can come at any time, even from far away. At the height of the Gulf War, Thailand's Red Cross flew in medical aid and nursing care to the victims. For decades, Thailand's Red Cross teams have extended a helping hand to other nations, but in 2004, disaster made its way to these shores. Thailand's Red Cross has been called upon to assist the nation through several domestic tragedies, but none so devastating as the events of December 26, 2004, when one of the worst natural disasters of modern times wreaked havoc along much of the rim of the Indian Ocean. Following one of the biggest earthquakes ever off the northwest coast of the Indonesian island of Sumatra, the Asian tsunami swept through the region. Nearly 225,000 people were killed, one-third of them children. Tens of thousands more were injured, and 10 million people became homeless and displaced. In Thailand's resort destinations, thousands of foreign tourists enjoying the peak holiday season were among the dead or missing.
My story started off in my room. It was 10 o'clock in the morning and I heard everyone screaming. And by the time I'd got onto my balcony, the tsunami had hit that street and the water was pretty much rushing through the balcony of my bedroom. So it must have hit from ground floor to second floor in 5 seconds or so. And at that point it was really just a fight for survival. I mean, it happened very quickly.
Among those first on the scene was the Red Cross Mobile Medical Team. From the beginning of the disaster, Thailand's royal family were on hand. Within a few hours of the tragedy, Thailand's Crown Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn was coordinating the nation's military and police response. He also played a major role in providing emergency housing for orphans and new boats for fishermen. At the same time, Princess Sirindhorn began closely monitoring the relief operations. From day one, she was at the Thai Red Cross headquarters, overseeing the distribution of relief supplies to the disaster-hit areas. The next day, she was back, encouraging the efforts of much-needed blood donors. Disaster is always indiscriminate. The call for aid, this time so far away, came again in January 2010, when the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere, Haiti, was struck by a massive 7-magnitude earthquake. Thailand's Red Cross stepped in to assist with the world's biggest donation from a Red Cross Society member. This included an emergency shipment of rice and funding. Crown Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn also donated his own money to the relief teams. Just over a month later, funds were also donated to Chile after an 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck the nation, killing over 300 people. Under the leadership of the royal family, Thailand's Red Cross Society keeps an eye on the future, encouraging training, research and new technology, while its teams remain on the alert. Many members of the royal family's new generation are often seen raising awareness and raising funds for those in need, and are usually on hand to assist when natural or man-made disaster strikes. With its unique royal connection and contribution, as well as its extensive hospital and medical network, the Thai Red Cross enlists the popular support of all sectors of Thai society and remains true to the common goal of the society worldwide to help those in need, whatever their origin, and to be constantly prepared for any challenges in the future.